Pam and I often talk about how thankful we are that when we were much younger, throughout our lives together, we took frequent vacations, we traveled a lot, we explored a lot, we went to places that we had never been before, and that we're so glad we did all of this, because now that we're at the age we are now, we just can't do that anymore. And as I've perceived it, when if people retire and they've never had any interest, particularly about exploring and finding new paths, they're not apt to find it then, because they probably want to just vegetate like many of the old people who live in Florida. On the other hand, there are senior citizens who love to take bus trips and things like that, but then you're herded and you're not off by yourself and dependent on no one but yourself to find the pleasure of finding new things and going to new places. And then I remember an instance where when I was at Lehighton, Weissport, and Bay Creek, those three churches, the church treasurer at Weissport, he and his wife had never had any children, and they had never gone anywhere, but they had saved up their money, and they were going to take a cruise around the world and do all sorts of nice things. 1 month after he retired, he got sick, terminally sick. I remember still visiting him in the hospital, and well, he never returned home again. He never got well. He died. And I've always felt sorry for him, and I've always been impelled by that lesson that you don't know what is in the future, and you better do things while you can and learn that thrill of exploring and finding new ways, because you never know once you retire what your attitude is going to be. For example, many people have a stroke and it changes their whole attitude toward life, changes their whole personality, and then other times the person well, look at the obituary pages of the newspaper, how many people die in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 40s even. And anyone can be any one of those people. So Pam and I are so thankful, aren't we, Pam, that we did what we did?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. You win a gold medal for saying that. I'll have to put a penny underneath your pillow tonight. And take Chief Bob Redhawk, for example. When he was in his early 50s, he and I and Fred and sometimes some others, we'd enjoy these hikes back into the mountains, into the hills, and I was in my, well, I forget how old I was, but anyway, then when he approached his 60s, he got MS, and now he hobbles around with a brace on his leg, and there's a battery-operated thingy underneath his bad leg. And the last time I was out walking with him was 2 years ago, when Fred and I went out for a vacation, and in the woods, well, at his house out in Wisconsin, where he's living now with his wife. And he took us to a state park, and we walked along the trail there, and he had this battery-operated device. We went along quite well, but his days out in enjoying the woods are pretty much numbered. He's still very active, but what he enjoyed the most is no longer possible. And had he not done that when he was younger, he certainly wouldn't be doing that now. So, and then when we took our vacations, I'd borrow. That was before there were credit cards. The only credit card was a gasoline credit card for your car, and I would borrow money from the bank and use that to help us pay for our vacation trip. and then spend the rest of the year paying that loan back. And then as soon as it was paid back, I'd go to the bank again and say, can I borrow a couple $100 more for our next trip? And to cut costs, we stayed in mom and pop motels. The cheaper ones were between cities out in the country, and in those days. And on alternate nights, we'd pull up along a lonely road or a lonely parking place and sleep in the car, spend the night there. But we traveled and we did a lot of exciting things that were so glad we did then, because even though we would be able to pay for better motels now, we just wouldn't be able to do that kind of traveling.